Hello and welcome. This is a little tutorial explanation of the settings menu and the control tab within. You can find it by pressing escape or going to the top left there, and it's this tab here. I'm going to go over all of these and just explain what they are. Some of them are pretty obvious. You'll probably be thinking, why is he telling us that? It's obvious, but whatever. There's some people that will ask these questions, I guarantee it. So yeah, hopefully this will help. And here we go. Okay, so the first setting I'm going to talk about is the weapons groups camera. Now this is this view here, basically right on top of your guns. It's as far as you can be zoomed in before you go into the artillery camera. Now if you have it switched off, you will not get that view. It will go to a certain distance from the ship before it goes straight into the artillery camera. There we go, I can no longer sit on top of my guns. Okay, the second setting, automatically switch camera between the main battery guns. Now you need to have the first setting enabled, the weapons groups camera, otherwise you can't do this. Basically, when you look towards the back of your ship from this view, it will automatically move your camera over. And if you look back towards the front, it'll move it back to the front. If you disable that, you look towards the back and it will not do anything. You have to press C to move the cameras. Now that's the setting that I prefer. It gets a bit confusing if they're hopping back and forwards all the time. Okay, the next setting is the zoom limit indicator. And basically what this does is when you get into your maximum zoom, it will start to bobble the camera a little bit, if you can see that. Now when you turn that off, it won't give you that little bobble. It will just... where is it? There it is. It will just stay static basically. So there, it's not doing the bubble anymore. And that's that one. Now because I'm an idiot, I meant to join a co-op battle, but I joined the random one. And I got torped because I was sat at the spawn. But anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is the team panels. And that's the things up to the left here, and to the right. Basically, if you have them on, they're there. If they're off, and they won't be there. Magic. Apologies to my team for being a plank. If you enable the alternate battle interface mode, you'll basically have this information above the ships all the time. I have that turned off and I have to press a button to bring it up. Just keeps the screen a little bit tidier. It's time to get some own back for that torpedo run. This view here you can get into by pressing Z just after you've shot your shells. While I'm shooting at this cruiser, I can show you the track selected target. Now you can tell it's selected because it has this circle above it, and as you can see my crosshair is staying basically on top of the ship here. It's tracking the speed that the Attego is moving at. If I switch that off, I might die by the time I've got there. If I switch that off, it stopped tracking it now. I've still got him targeted, but it has stopped tracking him. I'm about to die! Yeah! Oh well. Okay, since they blew up my Warspite, I've jumped into my Nicholas. I'm going to show you the option that restores the latest camera position when you're exiting the overview mode. Now, the overview mode, if you go into your artillery camera and you press right mouse button, it takes you out. And restoring the latest position means that if I look over here and I lift off the right mouse button now, it will look back to where I was looking previously. If I switch it off, and I look around now, it will just put me to where I was looking basically and start turning my guns. Okay, limit camera angle on torpedo tubes. Now you need to be sat on top of the torpedo tubes to be able to see this one. Basically, if you don't have it enabled, you can look all the way around, no problems or whatsoever. It doesn't block you or anything like that. If I avoid this island a second and switch it back on, if I can find it, there it is. Okay, now, and if I try and look around now, it's going to keep pulling me back to the edge here. And to get over to the other side, I really have to drag the mouse quite a bit. So that's what that setting does. Okay, now I'm going to show you the collision avoidance system. I'm not touching the rudder controls here, and I have it switched on. As you can see, the game's going to turn my ship so that I don't hit the island. The other setting for this is to have it on in the artillery camera only, or binocular view as they call it, and that basically only activates the collision avoidance when you're in that view. Next is the minimap rotate. Now if you look at my minimap and I turn my ship, you see the arrow turns. If you have the minimap set to rotate, the map itself will rotate and the arrow will stay sort of in a locked position. I can't actually do that because I have a minimap mod and it seems to conflict with the setting. So the final setting would be to enable the camera feedback when damage is taken. Now, I believe this just makes the camera shake a little bit when you take damage. I'm not going to try and do it in this one because I want to actually be useful, unlike my last game in the Warships. But that is what it does as far as I can tell. So I hope that's helped at least one person. I hope I've explained it all clearly. Everything's pretty obvious for you. Apologies to my team in the Warspite game if anyone happens to see this video. I thought I was in a co-op battle, and they're easy. Apparently I wasn't, because that cruiser captain, I mean, I don't know why he sent the planes straight down there. I mean, that's a bit random, but whatever. Apologies for that. For the greater good and all that stuff. So yeah, good luck, and maybe I'll see you out there. Also, there seems to be a bit of a bug on replays when destroyers are going in and out of smokes. They sort of stay drawn, but in reality they're moving. So, not sure what's going on there, wargaming.
Enemy destroyer foundered.